It is Wednesday, everyone. Welcome into the News 10 Plus Digital Desk. I'm Taylor Gattoni with Nicole Buckman.
Hello, hello. How's it going?
Hello. Good. I was just going to say, you don't see it yet, but I do.
Yes, we, spring is in the air, and today on Studio 10, we have May's edition of Cole's Crafts. And so we are learning on how to, because now that our weather is a little bit nicer, more consistently nicer, we can start decorating our outdoor area or even our door. So today we're going to be learning how to make a cool door decor.
I love this.
With just a crochet hoop or like embroidery hoop, and how you can make a pocket for it. Just tune into Studio 10, but it's a DIY sign, so we're excited to do it.
Where do you get these things?
So I got all these at Michael's this morning. Okay. All of it was about under this was $13, and this is enough supplies for two, maybe
serious?
3 people. Yeah, and these things you can technically get at the dollar store, at Walmart for about the same price. And same with flowers. All of these things are pretty common, but the burlap tends to be a little bit more expensive. This is a little bit more laminated burlap, so I'm hoping it works. But like with crafts, you go in with an idea and you always adapt.
That's
my
how
favorite
you do
kind.
it.
You can't be exact because it doesn't make it fun. So.
Then it gets in your head, and then you get all mad, and it's supposed to be fun.
Yes, exactly. Because you're making it for yourself. Oh yeah, $13. That's why it's nice. And it's a great thing to do with friends. You can do it outside if it's really nice outside. If you have great patio furniture, or just bring a table, you can do it at a park, or you can just do it at night, inside. Grab some glasses of wine, put in a cute movie. You know what I mean? This is just a fun activity or something to do with your kids. Yeah. So just a lot of fun. So definitely tune in at 3 o'clock for that. And also at 3 o'clock, we are getting a little sweet and a little tart because we have the National Cherry Queen coming on our show, because every year, well, for 98 years,
oh my God.
To be exact,
wow.
Traverse City has hosted the National Cherry Festival. So this is a week-long event that is filled with everything you can possibly think of in terms of family fun, but also spreading awareness of all the cherries that we have here in Michigan and the benefits of this fruit. I mean, cherries can help you sleep. People drink cherry juice before they go to bed to kind of get in more, or people make mocktails a little bit, sleepy drinks is what they call it, using tart juice, and you can get that right up in the in Traverse City. So we're gonna have her on, and as well as the executive director for the program, the event, and they're gonna be chit-chatting about all the fun things that you can expect starting June 29th. So if you're wanting to head up north or you're going to be around that area, definitely stop on by. I mean, there's air shows, there's of course pie eating contests, there's the parades and all the stuff, and concerts. So definitely keep that in mind. But we're excited to get to know the Queen Cherry, the Cherry Queen, and she'll be telling us a little bit about what's her cherry on top of some of her favorite things to do here in the area as well. She's a Michigan State Spartan.
Oh, go green.
I know. So she's
go white. That's when you say go white.
Yeah, yeah, go blue too. Look at you. I like your blue.
No,
it didn't work. Did you see what we did there? Anyway, so definitely stay tuned for that. And then, of course, more was a continuing coverage of a You're Not Alone campaign. Rochelle has this very touching story. Chesley Christ is a former Miss USA. She was former Miss USA, so in 2009 she was crowned, but behind the crown, she was battling depression, and every day was a win for her to stay alive. But unfortunately in 2022, she lost that battle to depression and ended up taking her own life. And so, but before that, she wrote a letter to her mom saying, by the time you read this, and it kind of gives her her wishes, and one of her wishes was to write a book. And so her mom April honored those wishes and have recently published a book, and it talks a little bit about, of course, mental health and all of that. So Rochelle sat down with her mom April to talk a little bit about the book, but also kind of resources that parents can have when they have to go through this, because not only they're dealing with the death and grieving, but also their mental health is impacted. So we have local resources. We talked to NAMI, all of that. So this is all part of You're Not Alone campaign. It is obviously a very tragic story. You can scan here for more resources, but definitely a very important conversation to have. So we'll be having that, of course, later in the show. So definitely stay tuned for that story, and to learn and to be aware, and to, you know, and stigmas and all of that. Very important conversations.
Yeah, no, very important conversations, and that's why we have these conversations and these stories, and that. Yeah, really impactful. Look forward to.
Definitely. So definitely stay tuned for Studio 10 at 3 p.m. We'll have a whole range of stuff to talk about. Lots of things in our garden today, literally. Education, information, entertainment, all of that. We're here for you.
Perfect. Oh, yes.
Thank you.
We will see you soon, Nicole.
Yes,
thank
definitely.
you. Coming up at 3 o'clock, of course, is how you can stay up to date with Studio 10. Watch them live on air, which is coming up in just over 50 minutes here, so make sure to tune in. And like Nicole was saying, well, before I get into that, if you want to watch anything of how to make those adorable flower decorations, again, Nicole was saying she got her craft supplies for her segment, Cole's Crafts, at Michael's, and under $13 or around $13. You could go buy one of those things. That would be double the price, if not triple the price, especially with our increased prices right now. I know Justin's excited about the Falcon mom who just flew back in, or it could be the dad. I think it's the mom.
With the next meal, I believe.
Oh, there you go. Yum.
The circle
you know what?
of life.
Let me actually get off of that.
Yep,
yeah,
there we
sorry,
go.
I'll save
Yep.
everyone's eyes and appetite. Sorry. Yes, some humor right there.
You know what? Birds got to eat, right?
Birds got to eat. Mom is doing a great job making sure the kids are fed, and thank God I turned away the camera.
If you are not squeamish, you can go to our Falcon Cam, check it out.
I am getting squeamish.
It's as natural as it gets, folks.
But before we...
Life is both beautiful and harsh. Anyway,
yes, it is.
There we go.
But anyway, stay up to date with Studio 10.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring it out to Justin because it is beautiful weather. We're talking about the Falcons.
You know what? No bite for us last night. Never had the storms, never had those work through. That was great. They went north in the state. My grandfather lives up in the Leelanau Peninsula near Traverse City. They did have those rounds of storms blow through. 50-mile-per-hour gusts, not once but twice last night in the overnight hours. Fortunately for us, we were able to avoid that. Like we were expecting maybe the possibility. The storms died out as they moved to us, or they went north. Both of those happened, and so it ends up working out nicely for us. We are going to look at some rain chances in the forecast, but we have some really nice weather to enjoy before that happens too.
Yeah, so a win with missing out on the big storms last night, and a win on the field last night. Let's go.
Finally, got a big victory. Very exciting. WIL Extra Innings, our softball team. Got a big walk-off win. It was really fun. True team effort. Everybody did something at some point in the game to contribute. And so we had a lot of fun enjoying that. And the weather was good last night here. So it's pretty good out there too now today. And we're enjoying all of it around mid-Michigan. Great looking forecast for at least the next couple of days here. Once again, you can see that we got temperatures that are warming up again, continuing to move forward. And we got them generally running in, well, let's see, it's decided it doesn't want to move. Well, that's good. All right, we'll see if we can move on. Main headlines, you know what? I just realized I have the wrong one queued up. It's right on the screen. I have the incorrect one here.
Oh, is this right?
On my monitor.
Should I change
yes,
it?
the one we have is correct. So for the folks at home, bear with us here. We're going to get it up in just 2 seconds. US 127. Here we go, 78-degree temperatures. Now we do have a bit of a breeze as well out there too. West-southwest wind at 23 miles per hour, and you can feast your eyes on our Skycam and the birds out there.
They are going to town.
The Falcons are enjoying a nice meal, which we just talked about. Breeze is blowing a little bit. We noticed the camera out there showing the flagpole outside Mason Skycam at Keene Store. The flag is blowing, or the flag blowing on the flagpole there, and then of course we also had the breeze blowing around the leaves. It's 82 right now in Mason, so a little bit warmer there than in some other mid-Michigan spots, but those gusty winds, 32 miles an hour, at least the gusts have been in Lansing. That's what the number is now. Same for Jackson. And out there, once again, we are seeing a bit of a breeze today. But the numbers have climbed again, 81 in Jackson, 82 in Mason and Howell. We have a little bit more warmth south and east in the state, a little bit cooler to the north, but 73, 74, still not bad for the time of year in the cooler spots. That's actually just above normal for the time of year. So yesterday's highs, well, they made it into the mid to a few upper 80s. We had the humidity to go with that too, ahead of the storms, which never came about, and the expected highs today as you see here, are running toeing the line near 80 degrees. Take a couple degrees depending on where you are out there across the state. Now, we do have a dew point reading to show you. We're dropping in that department, still near 60, and so we feel a touch of humidity out there now, but as the day goes on, these numbers will continue to drop, and you can see here that they're in the mid-50s by dinner time, continuing to drop overnight. By tomorrow, they're in the 40s, which bodes well for us. It just means drier and more comfortable, pleasant air settles into mid-Michigan, and so that's what we have moving forward. Out into Friday here, you see that they're staying down until we get towards the evening. Out to the west there, you see them starting to climb again. That's going to be ahead of our rain that moves in on Friday night, and we'll take a look at that coming up here in a moment. Now, the temperatures hour by hour stay in upper 70s, and then it's a slow skate down this evening, still near 70 by the time we're at 8 p.m., and as the sun goes down, we dip into the upper 60s. We'll go down to the 50s overnight tonight, but overall looking pretty good for us. The hour by hour shows that here. Great afternoon, great evening, great overnight. We bottom out in the 50s. That's how we start tomorrow morning. The daytime, I think we'll get close to 80 again in some spots, but for most of us, it's upper 70s. Call it 78 or so degrees for our high temperature. Just a few afternoon fair weather clouds. We'll be dry again, and on Friday, I think largely it's the same for most of us. We eventually will see the numbers working back up a little bit, and then you see here that Friday night rain just out to the west. Maybe even by 11 p.m. still out of the area, but it's possible as we get towards sunset, a leading edge shower gets out of that too. So we'll have a 20% chance of rain for Friday. Looks like the Falcon siblings are fighting over another thing over here. I can't take my eyes off it to the side, but
I'm trying not to look.
Yeah, 10-day forecast here as they make quick work of whatever that was. Back to 80s on Friday. We do that with sunshine and again late day clouds, maybe a sprinkle. I think the weekend we'll have to dodge a couple showers, but the good news is these are not washout days. I think the rain Saturday is early, the rain Sunday is late, and the rain Monday is very spotty, even if it does stay cloudy most of the day. And Mom is getting ready to take off out there. The meal is done, I believe. They made quick work of that, but you know what?
They did.
Birds got to eat.
Birds got to eat.
And they certainly did. And so
Cappy back there.
Yep, I think they're going to be content for a little while. Going to be out in search of the next meal here shortly, I'm sure. But once again, it's a nice day out there. Hopefully folks are able to enjoy, like the birds just enjoyed the meal that they had there. But
I'm waiting for her to take off, which is why I'm hesitating to go back to the forecast.
No, you know what? They're having a good time hanging out there, staying on watch and puffing out the feathers a little bit, getting ready.
Whoa.
Just ruffle, nice little ruffle of the feathers there. Playing lookout.
All right, let's go back to the forecast.
You know, the funny thing is I'm going to be talking about the 10-day here, and she'll take off. But, you know, we're keeping our eyes on it. But you know what? Here we go. We got, again, temperatures back in the 70s this weekend. That's what they'll stay through most of next week. I think we're back close to 80 by next Friday, just in time for the final day of the month of May.
That's wild.
Yep, the numbers are going to warm back up by the time we get there. And even lower 70s is not far off from normal. This time of year, 72 is the average high, and so 70, we're not doing too bad. In fact, the 10-day temperature trend I have up here shows you kind of where we're at. So it is a little bit of a rise towards Friday and then a slow kind of dip, but then back up the other side. But again, not far from normal. We're all in the 70s. Monday's the one day, maybe a question mark, staying in the upper 60s for us. Just depends on the extent of the clouds and the rain, which you see here in the 10-day. But once again, it is not a washout weekend. And you should be sure to check back in for forecast updates as we go throughout the coming days and approach the holiday weekend because, once again, we've got a pretty good pattern settling in. And so the First Alert weather app is a good way for you to know how to do that, especially if you're not able to catch us on air or read the article online. If you want just a quick look at the forecast, it's a great tool to have. You get your forecast video updates, all sorts of great things on there. And those tools at your disposal are customizable to you. It can track your locations. Let's say, you know, this unofficial start to summer as Mom takes off right there, right as we look away.
Oh, great, of
you know,
course.
we're going to be we're going to be gearing towards a pretty good weekend outside of those spotty showers. First Alert weather app if you're heading up north, traveling anywhere, wherever you may be going, to unofficially welcome the summer season, which a lot of us consider from Memorial Day to Labor Day. And so that's what we're all keeping track of. And June is right around the corner. We're almost there. It's amazing. We're already almost to the 6th month of the year, but hey, you know what? We're moving along, and it's going really fast.
I think that's been the trend. Like, everyone has been saying, yeah, what happened to this year? And I feel like people usually say that, but this year...
It's been flying by.
Yeah.
It's been flying by. Yeah, I don't know what's been going on, but it's been a blur, and it's going to get more of a blur for me here in probably the coming days, but we shall see. Still on watch.
You're also going to have to take care of your baby coming up.
I am not going to be feeding him like that.
No,
I'll
please.
tell you that. I'll make sure. I'll make sure there's nothing live. He can't eat food anyway for the first little bit. He's going to be anyway. We'll stay away from it. But you know what? Very exciting times for everybody, whether you're a peregrine falcon chick or a soon-to-be baby boy. So
there you go.
All exciting. Life is but a dream, right? So
yes, it is.
Yep.
Oh well.
Anyway,
we'll see you coming up. Actually, no, you're heading off. No.
Yeah, I'll be around a little while longer here. Keep an eye on the First Alert forecast, but we actually have First Alert Meteorologist Colton Sikoraki. He'll be coming up at the top of the hour, 3 o'clock on Studio 10. Don't want to miss it. They got a good show today. And then First at 4, of course, with Colton and Taylor here. They're going to be bringing you the latest news, weather, and everything you need to know about what's coming up.
Well, I should just hop off because you've got it covered.
No, that's okay. That's okay. We need you here. We need you here. I'm cut out to stand in front of a green wall and talk about what's going on.
Well, you
Use
do
my
a great
crystal
job.
ball to predict the future. That's my job. I'm a sky wizard. You get to do this.
I love how
That's
you
what
said
it
that,
is.
sky wizard.
That's
I'm gonna start calling you that.
That's the way that I describe. You know how they say like describe your job without like saying your job.
Yeah.
That's what I always tell people. I say I'm a sky wizard.
Huh?
'Cause that's what I do. I predict the future, but in the sky only. So.
I'm like a pigeon, one of those who carry the message to. But I don't want to be a pigeon. I don't like pigeons.
Nice. Well, hopefully that wasn't a pigeon that we just saw have a not so great day at the expense of the Falcons. But you know what?
Yikes.
Such is life. There they are. They're taking a nap now after
It's
that.
a little food coma, yeah.
After that nice meal. All right. Well, we'll check back in with them later.
See you soon.
I'm sure. Sounds good.
Anyway, like Justin was saying, great things on Studio 10 today. As you heard Nicole saying, thank you, Justin.
Yeah.
Studio 10 gets started here in just over 40 minutes, right about 40 minutes. But yes, if you want to look at Cole's crafts with the flower little, what do you even call that? Yeah, you put it on your wall, little wall decor. There we go. That's the word. Or if you want to put it on your front door or outside door, just hang it from anywhere. Such a cute craft. And just make sure you tune in. Again, very cost effective, especially the way that they go about it. And you could go to the store and pay about double or triple the price for what they're going to make for a third of the price. And it's a great activity, again, like Nicole was saying, if you want to do it with your family, your friends, yourself, do it outside, inside. You can make quite the day, a little festivity with it. So cute craft for Cole's Crafts. Go check it out. And then also talking about the Cherry Queen coming up, a big event happening. Of course, we love the Cherry Republic up in Traverse City. Great place to go. But otherwise, they're also talking about the You're Not Alone mental health series and speaking on the former Miss USA who, oh, and we have Mars joining in just a little bit. Excuse me, got distracted there. But yes, talking about the Miss USA who was depressed and, lost her life to suicide. So we are going to be talking about that on Studio 10 at 3 o'clock today, part of the You're Not Alone mental health series happening all year long here on News 10. And the month of May is Mental Health Awareness Month, so all-encompassing of all the different mental health challenges out there. And so we want you to know that you're not alone, and there are resources out there for you. And you can go scan that QR code with your cell phone's camera, click on the link, and get the resources you need to help you. And whenever you're feeling ready, I know that it can be really hard to move forward when you feel in a place that feels really heavy and you don't know what to do. Even when there are resources and support around you, sometimes you just feel helpless, but you are not alone. There are those resources. We want you to feel better and get the help you need to get better, feel like yourself again, and help you feel empowered. So we're going to leave you with that message for You're Not Alone mental health series. Again, Studio 10 gets started here at 3 o'clock. I do want to share what we have coming up during First at 4 and our on Mid-Michigan Matters, and also talking about our 90 minutes of news. But to get it all kicked off here is going to be Mars Anderson sharing what we can expect coming up during our 90 minutes of news. Hello, Mars.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. Well, my allergies, which we do have some stories today talking about that, they're messed up.
I can't speak to my allergies. I'm dealing with something right now, which is why I'm speaking so low, but I'm hoping that it is allergies, but who knows right now at this point. But we're here. But I'm not talking about allergies.
Good vibes, good vibes.
Justin Kent will be talking about allergies, but I'm talking about a wreath ceremony that happened today. It was at the Hannah Community Center in East Lansing. So, of course, we talk about that piece about mental health and things like that. So, I think a big piece of Memorial Day is remembering those who have fallen from war, but then also those who return and maybe dealing with that PTSD and trauma from war. So, this was that opportunity to honor those who have passed, but also those who are, they like to say it as they are the fabric of the community out there in East Lansing. So they have come out, and I talked to a woman in particular whose father made a lot of contributions following his time in the war. So I'll be sharing a little bit of that story, but I think that's so important is that a lot of times when we a lot of times when we do see these monuments around, we're just walking past and there's not a thought of maybe, oh, what did this person do? What is their contribution here? Did they even live here? Because, you know, we have like Martin Luther King Boulevard and all these different streets named against with these larger heroes, but sometimes those, let's say unsung, unspoken heroes are heroes right from your community. So it was just great to see them want to honor, you know, these war veterans.
Oh. Yeah. No, that's a great story. And like you said, it's not just the ones who have fallen, it's talking about the ones who are the fabric in the community.
Yeah.
I love how you brought that up. That's great.
Yes, like these people are your neighbors. You may not know that maybe that grumpy old neighbor or that super nice neighbor was someone who fought in the war, and just all that they went through just made them a better person. And, you know, always I think we live in a society where kind of people are closed off, or we may be on social media, which of course I love social media. You're on YouTube, so please stay with News 10, but we're kind of always closed off on those moments where we don't want to share and give out, and we don't know necessarily what everybody's struggle or situation has been, and that trauma of war is something completely different. So I think with our older generation, kind of be aware of that, whether, you know, you should be kinder to the older generation just period, but you never know what also the other experience that they have had as well. And even and it's just so great that we're talking about all this because I met a former East Lansing mayor. He was there. He was also a veteran as well. So, you know, for him to come back, I don't know if he, well, I'm sure he came back, and he said in 2007, I believe, he was mayor. He did 2 terms there. So I'm pretty sure he was in the war before that. So it's like for him to come back and, you know, with whatever those experiences were, those shared experiences with his team, he came back and he made a difference. And so I think that is so important.
That is. Well, something else that you mentioned, and I want to pull this up one more time, is you were saying how social media, a lot of the times, you know, we see all the fun things going on in people's lives and all of the celebrations and, you know, cheering each other on, or, oh, you know, look at me doing this, look at me doing that. We're sharing all the fun things, but yeah, like you were saying, what's not shown and what's hidden is all of the challenges that we go through.
Absolutely, and I think also what happens is people don't take the time, and I think with anything that you choose to do career-wise or just as a person, to go back and kind of look up history. I know a lot of people don't, or younger generations may not go out and seek news, but we have the stories on things of the past. These news stations have been around for years, so if there's anything that you ever need to know about, and then sometimes I think also with social media, what it does as well is that you may see some of the negative war and videos that you won't see on the news, unfortunately, because it is so graphic. And so we have to keep in mind that this has been something that's been going on since the beginning of the Americas. So we have to be aware that there are people who are fighting for this country. It said freedom is not free. And so, you know, we have these problems that we're experiencing now in the world. And so these are the people who are going out or who have gone out and fought for us to be able to even do this newscast that we're doing right now. So I think with, of course, us promoting, you know, mental health of one another who may have not been in a situation like that, but we need to be mindful and maybe provide some support to those. And there is support for those who have, you know, been in war. So.
Oh, well, thank you for sharing that
You
message, Mars,
welcome.
and like
Very
multiple
welcome.
messages
Glad
right there.
To come to the desk. I could show you a reef. Well, you will see that reef and you will see those memorials, but just telling you and being able to come talk to at the desk was, I think, a little bit more important.
Yeah, no, and again, that's like Erin was saying yesterday, she's like, I'm glad I had the time to share more of the story, because you're going to have to condense all of that to a minute and a half. But here, I'm so glad that you came up here, shared with everyone the in-depth details and those messages.
So happy to do it always.
Yes. Well, one more time, thank you, Mars. What time is that coming up?
That is News 10 at 6.
News 10 at 6. All right, we'll let you get back to it. One more time, I am going to show the You're Not Alone mental health series. Like Mars was saying, freedom's not always free. There's a lot of sacrifices made, and whether, you're a veteran or not, I'm sure there's a lot of sacrifices in your own personal life that you've made. And sometimes that can make you lose a part of yourself, or it doesn't feel like you. And again, part of the You're Not Alone mental health series is we want to help you take care of your mental health, for you to know that there are resources and support out there for you. And yeah, no, it is very difficult to share the hardships going on in your life, because, I know I'm not the only one. I know a lot of people in this station. I know a lot of people out there listening right now have gone through their own hardships, and it's hard. It's called a hardship for a reason. It's hard to bring it up. And it holds a place in your heart and in your body, and it can be a little triggering. So, this stuff isn't easy, and it's not supposed to be. I wish it was. But that's why we have these resources, because even though it is hard, we can do hard things, we can get through it together, and just know that you're not alone. There are those resources. So I'm going to stop talking. I know that you know where the resources are. We appreciate you for just listening and being aware on all of that. I do want to share what else we have coming up on News 10 today, starting with first at 4. During Mid-Michigan Matters, we are bringing in the Okemos Allergy Center because, like we were talking about, I'm sure allergies are not great right now. If you're like me and your allergies go bonkers this time of year with the cottonwood flying around, you have the pollen everywhere. In fact, I saw that we have a high pollen count today. So, and we had the rain yesterday. So if that's messing up your allergies and you're getting all sneezy, your eyes are getting red and itchy, and you're congested, gotta blow your nose, yes, we will be talking about allergy symptoms and relief, more importantly, the medications that you can take that will help clear up your symptoms to the best of its abilities. And we're gonna make sure they're safe medications for you, right? So make sure that you're doing things that benefit you and help alleviate your symptoms. And then coming up, News 10 at 5 today. There's a bill that would likely end the issue of people driving too fast through school zones. Now, if passed, it would allow the state to use a speed detection system to catch drivers speeding in school zones. And our very own Capitol correspondent, Zachariah Wheaton, will have those details on the school zones, driving too fast, making sure that, you can catch the speedsters. He'll have that coming up, News 10 at 5 today. Coming up, News 10 at 5:30, as that warm weather Justin just talked about is hanging around, you'll likely be looking for ways to cool off. So especially once school is out for kids, I know a lot of people want to go hit those pools. And Memorial Day weekend, I know that's typically a weekend where a lot of public pools start opening up. So maybe that includes a public pool, yes. But we're going to be talking to Jackson about their lifeguard shortage. If they do not have enough lifeguards, they will not open the city's swimming pools. So News 10's Deanna Giles is speaking with officials and the community on what they can expect this upcoming summer. Again, right now they need those lifeguards. They're looking to hire lifeguards, trying to avoid the shortage, because if they have a shortage of lifeguards, they cannot open up the pools. And you got to find a way to cool down, right? You want those pools open. So if you have a kid looking to make money, lifeguard certification classes, you can actually learn CPR, learn AED, and I know this because I used to be a lifeguard, there you go. But you learn all of this great information to help someone, save someone's life, if they're struggling in the water. And so what a great way to learn life-saving skills, and also, as a personal thing, you get to make money as well. So great summer job, teaching you responsibility. You can make money, of course, too, but life-saving skills, what a great way to incorporate that. So News 10 at 5:30, Deanna Giles is going to share more on the lifeguard shortage. Coming up, News 10 at 6, it is a heartbreaking story that we've been following all week. We are following the impact of the crash that has killed 2 and injured 16 others. News 10's Aaron Bowling is looking at donations and how the community is trying to heal after that crash. Again, that happened last weekend, and so continuing to follow that story. We've had many updates on News 10, both on air and online. We want to get you that information. So again, just go check that out, coming up during our 90 minutes of news today. I do want to end this more on a uplifting note. I know we had some tough stories, and that's okay, right? Life can get hard and we can get down and feel our feelings with it. But I want to get you through the rest of this week, bring your spirits back up. And so we're going to take a live look at the Peregrine falcons one more time, because they're just so adorable, cute, and fluffy, and they're just waddling around their little poopy bird box over there. It does not look pretty, but they did just eat, so I'm sure some of that is a result of their lunchtime meal. Anyway, Peregrine falcons. They're enjoying the warm weather and the outdoors, so I hope that all of you can do that too. Again, Colton Sikoracki, you heard Justin up here, but Colton Sikoracki will be doing Studio 10, which is coming up in just under half an hour here, followed by First at 4 in our 90 minutes of news, giving you all your updates into your First Alert forecast. You don't want to miss it because it's beautiful weather. There are some little shower chances in the forecast. But I'm sure you all want to know what your Memorial Day weekend forecast is looking like. So Colton will provide that coming up today during the remainder of News 10. So hope you guys have a great Wednesday, and we hope that you'll join us, and we'll see you soon.